What's going on, friends? My name is M20Grades, and welcome back to another exciting episode of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. We are about to take on the Great Bay Temple in this part, where, as last time was off, we were briefly in the Iconic Canyon, which is an area that we're not supposed to be at right now, but in this part, we are going to take on the Great Bay Temple. So let's go ahead and do it. Starting off by hookshotting onto the turtle. He's going to give us a ride into the dungeon. Let's go. The giant hurricane surrounding the temple. Gerudos are on their way, which is a little bit foolish of them. Yeah, a little foolish of them, don't you think? Like, there's a giant hurricane. You should probably turn back while you can, instead of just keep going. Says us who kept going. But I guess the turtle doesn't really care about some hurricane, which for some reason doesn't affect us. Alright, you know, I guess the Gerudos are not going to live the good life, unfortunately. A little sad on them. But, welcome to the Great Bay Temple. This is our water temple of this game. Now, many people have dread the water temple in Ocarina of Time. And I'm gonna say right now, if you dread the water temple in Ocarina of Time, then you probably have never played this game in your life. So, here we go. So previously in the water temple, the puzzle around it is to adjust the water level, go in a circle in all 3 floors, and then just mess around with the water level, and then some rooms are... you can do certain things in some rooms depending on what your water level is. You know, it's a bit of a complex type of thing, and it's extremely tedious. For this game, in this temple, they really did a lot more than just that. You're not messing with any water level in this dungeon. What you're instead doing is there are parts in the dungeon where you want to have water flow through in order to access some areas. And this dungeon is it's more complex than the water temple. It's harder and longer. So we're gonna be here for a while. On top of also getting 15 straight fairies. Which, that's not surprising, because we've already been doing that. But yeah, so that's the concept of this dungeon. It sounds straightforward, but the puzzles around what we have to do are actually pretty creative, and I actually like the puzzles here in this dungeon compared to the Water Temple in Ocarina of Time. And I did mention previously in my Ocarina of Time Let's Play that I don't really... that I'm actually one of few who actually like the Water Temple. Alright, so, you could go through that door if you want, but I'm actually going to go ahead and head over here, because we have these scary looking enemies that I don't like. because... Oh, I can't defeat them as easily. Come on, come on, come on, come on, die! Oh my god. Oh my god. Thank you! My god. That wasted a lot of magic, and I'm very displeased about that. My goodness. Oh, but I get my arrows back. Poggers! Alright. Anyway, yeah, those are scary looking enemies. Because once again, if you stay on the lily pads while those things are attached to the lily pads, then they will eat you, and it's disgusting. Alright, so we got these hand things that are guarding this pipe. And, there's supposed to be a different way about to go about with that, but that's the easy way to approach. That's the easy approach with that particular straight fairy, and I just prefer it that way. Okay, so we get our compass of the dungeon there. And get rid of these things right here. I guess you don't have to. Alright, so we got these hand things right here, and these things will grab you, just like that. Oh my god! Okay, fine. You know what? There we go. That's more like it. Come on. Please die. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, head inside over here, and we get ourselves a small key. This small key is going to be very important. If you don't get that small key, you can't get anywhere. Now, actually, I believe when I was running through this dungeon a couple times, that's probably the only key that we get in the dungeon. Which is pretty crazy. Alright, here we are in this place. I'm gonna go ahead and walk along these pipes over here. Please don't hit me, thank you. And if you don't get that key, you're screwed. You can't go through this door. Wonderful. Okay. These enemies will always give you magic and arrows, which can probably hint you towards what you're going to be coming up against. So let's go ahead in here. What do we got? Empty room. Oh, that's not so much of an empty room. That's a little scary. Okay, this thing. This thing is very similar to, like, the way you fight this is very similar to Argus from A Link to the Past. So there's several different ways that you can go ahead and approach this fight. You can shoot arrows with these bubbles. You can use the hook shot. You can spin attack like crazy like this. You can also use bombs as well. There's a lot of different ways. Or you can also use Deku Nuts, which Deku Nuts seem to be the most efficient, but I don't have Deku Nuts, so I can't show off that the Deku Nuts. And that's because I warped back in time before starting this dungeon. Alright, so when you shoot this guy enough times, then he's going to go into this phase, where he's just going to be crashing into different things here. These bubbles are going to keep getting in your way. But basically, every time he opens his eye, that's your chance to hit him. I missed. Alright, cool. Okay, you can keep hitting, you can keep the... What? Oh my god. Hold on. Open up, open up, open up. Thank you. Alright. Alright. What are you doing? I've never seen you do this before. Okay, there we go. Oh, you explode. That's a very gruesome death. But yeah, that's how you fight him. Well, one of the ways. That's, it's, like I said, there's several different ways you can fight this boss. And that's one of the ways right there, so there we go. Okay, so our reward for beating this boss is ice arrows. Returning from Ocarina of Time, and ice arrows, you might remember being completely useless. In this game, they actually do have a use. So not only ice arrows are very powerful, but you're going to be using ice arrows in order to go through this dungeon. So you see these Octoroks, your first instinct is to, you know, deflect their rocks back at them. It takes 2 rocks, by the way. But you can actually use ice arrows, and the ice arrows will freeze enemies, just like in Ocarina of Time. However, the enemies will turn into ice blocks, something that wasn't the case in Ocarina of Time. And you can use those ice blocks as ways to get to different parts of the dungeon. So, with that, that is what I use that for. You might see me get lost a couple times, but bear with me. Let's go ahead and head there. Oh man, come on. In here. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Now, there's something else that ice arrows can do. And that is that... hold on. First things first, we're gonna go ahead and head over here. Because there's a treasure chest that we can get here. I could have gotten this a little bit earlier the first time that we were here in this room. But here we go. Here's the map. So we got the compass and the map there. Alright. Right there's a stray fairy. Alright. So, ice arrows can also freeze water. Realism! Except, in this game, you can only freeze certain parts of the water. Doesn't make much sense if you compare that to realism. What? There we go. Because in the original version, you can freeze any part of the water. But that's not the case here in this game. Or at least in this version. Which parts you can freeze in the water are the little sparkles that you see in the water. And those are the parts that you can freeze. And that's it. Okay, so, now we have this, part right here. Freeze that gel enemy right there towards the platform where you unwind the waterfall there, and that's how you get up there. And now we go ahead and head on back to here. So we're gonna go ahead and make our way back over to this. And into this room here. So we're back here, but this time we can actually freeze the water there. The nice thing is you can climb onto the ice blocks. So that way, in the water. That way you have to shoot every single sparkling particle. Okay, gotta freeze that, or melt that, and then now we come into this room, and oh man, it's another one of these evil frog enemies. Okay, here we go. Different kind of fight this time around. And the way this works is... Oh, bonus. You want to go ahead, and the first part is you want to shoot an arrow at this thing. It doesn't have to be fire arrows, but I already have fire arrows equipped, so I'm using fire arrows, which I know I'm consuming magic. But, and then he's going to form into this really giant blob of bubble. I don't know. And then, you want to stand out away from the center of the room. Otherwise, you'll get caught into this, and you don't want to know what happens. It hurts. But what you want to do is you want to wait for it to have the bubble go up to rise up to the ceiling, because you can't just shoot it at any point. It has to be in the ceiling, so that way the ice can fall down with it in it, and it hurts. And there we go. And then you just gotta go ahead and rinse and repeat every single time. And with that, there we go. That is basically that fight. And then this guy, just like the mini boss in Woodfall Temple, he turns into a frog, a regular frog. And then something I didn't actually show yet is you can actually talk to these frogs here with the Dongaro mask. And they're gonna say, oh, long time no see, as spring comes into the mountains. And so, basically what you want to do is, with the Dongaro mask, you want to find these frogs. And then every time you find a frog, they're going to be hanging out in the mountain village. And so there's 5 frogs that we have to find. That's the first of the 5, and the other 4 we actually have seen before. So after this dungeon, we're going to go ahead and find those remaining frogs. So that because there's actually a little something that they give us. So I'm pretty excited.